Hello YouTube, my name is Tom and I am the Crypto Investor, and it's time for our weekly market roundup of the crypto markets. And we start, of course, with the heat map that gives us that visualization of what's going on. And it's red. We did have a overall positive week initially, only to give back those gains in the last 24 hours. Ethereum was up to 2,800 or so and is now down 1% for the week. Bitcoin as well, now down 9.4% at 34,000. We do have a few little rays of light. Coins like Uniswap up 12.6%. This is mostly down to the fact that I think they had this layer 2 extension with Arbitrum that's looking like they can reduce gas fees. Matic also up 23%. Was up significantly more than that. Link Oracle token up only 4%, but was up quite a lot higher. Again, Arbitrum looking like another catalyst for that it can be used to link up other coins. And so, the requirements for chaining are only going to be greater as a consequence. Let's jump into the charts and make sense of what we have going on here. All right, so this is our chart of Bitcoin. And first, let's start off by just going to a smaller timescale. So we were watching this midweek. If you follow my midweek videos, we were looking at this and we had quite a nice structure forming. We had a series of higher highs and lower lows, which is what you're looking for. So we had this high put in and then a low and then a higher high. So this one's higher than that last one. And then a higher low. This low was higher than this one. And then what, of course, you're looking for is for the market to put in another higher high. And that didn't happen. And when that didn't happen, that's a strong technical indicator for traders to sell. And so we then sold. And then we broke below this support line that I had in play. And then we came up, we retested, confirmed that that support is now resistance, and we have since resumed down. And, I think we could go further down in the short term. This weekend is a long weekend, so it's Memorial Day in the United States, and typically on weekends that's when we get lower volume. And lower volume is, if there are large parties and whales who want to move the markets, then they can do so with biggest impact at the weekends due to that lower volume. If we look at you've probably seen this Wyckoff accumulation distribution phrase that has been banded around quite a lot on Twitter and YouTube. And you can see that, the correlation is undeniable. And if this is to remain correlated, then we could have the maximum pain happening just in the next couple of days or so, which would coincide with Sunday, Monday this week when the volume would be lowest. So it may be that we do get this final flush out, and if this is correct, then of course we could get a fairly nice rebound. I'm not certain that that is what we're going to see. I think for me, what is most probable is that we'd get more of a sideways consolidation. I think crypto might even get a bit boring for the time being, which I think all of us would take over a drop down to 20,000 or so. So for me, I think, I still think, we could momentarily break 30 if we follow that kind of Wyckoff model, which takes us down to 28. But overall, I think what we do is we basically consolidate within this range for a time being, kind of like we saw from December to February. I think something like this, but a bit more extended. For me, I think we see this play out for the majority of the summer. So, turn off your blockfolio, enjoy your summer, see what's going on again in August, September. But of course, keep watching this guy on YouTube. I think for me that overall, if you look on the weekly chart as well, we have a fairly bearish looking hammer forming. So let's just take this in. Let's zoom in for you here. So it's quite hard to see, sorry, but you can see we have this long wick down and hammer, and we're now at that support where we saw the previous weekly close. If we do break down here, that could push things further down. These aren't always accurate. A hammer doesn't mean that we're going lower. They have something like a 55% accuracy, so we can't put too much weight into that. Sorry, shooting star, not a hammer. So we will see how that plays out. But overall, there is selling pressure coming into the market. And I think for me, it feels like a inter-cycle bear market. I think the highest probability for me is that we get, we break below this 20-week moving average. We stay below it for some time, and then we get back above it within a few months or so. I don't believe we're kind of going into some four-year winter or anything like that. It just doesn't seem like that would be the case. But it's undeniable that there's been some good news catalysts this week, and it hasn't really buoyed the market on. We had Ray Dalio saying that he owns Bitcoin. We had Carl Icahn saying that he's looking at making potentially $1 billion or more purchase of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. We had PayPal saying that their users can now withdraw cryptocurrencies off their platform. We had hints that Apple are recruiting in the cryptocurrency space. So there's plenty of hopium out there, which, the fact that we had a good week overall didn't really buoy the market. There were some tax concerns coming from the Biden's regime, but overall, it's not necessarily been a bad news week, and so we will see. We will see how it plays out, but I don't see overall this being something that pushes us down to 20 and below and in a sustained fashion. I'm not ruling out that 20 is absolutely possible, but it just for me doesn't look like that is going to be the case. And I said in my past video that for me, every other crypto bear market has begun with that parabolic blow off top, and we just saw basically a series of higher highs and overall a consolidation. And of course history doesn't always repeat itself and rules are there to be broken, but it technically doesn't look like an end of cycle top from where I'm sitting. So I think we consolidate, we may have a breakdown, come back up, and then eventually we break above this 40, 42, 43, and we gain momentum again. We just, we had way too much leverage in the system that had to be flushed out. These were false prices up here, and we just need, momentum and confidence to return into the market in time. But it doesn't look like an end of cycle move from where I'm sitting. All right, let's just look into what this means for Ethereum. So Ethereum has been in this channel and remains in this channel. We came right up to the top of it. We had 2,900 or so just 3 days ago. And overall, it's going to be a tough nut to crack for Ethereum to get above 3,000. And that's not really going to happen, I don't think, whilst Bitcoin is under pressure. And so, I think there's a lot more bullish structure to be seen here in Ethereum. There's a lot more, there's a lot more good news on the horizon with EIP 1559 coming out in the next few months or so, and making Ethereum a deflationary asset. So I think, maybe we break down below here, but overall I think we grind up in this channel. So Ethereum's looking structurally a lot more sound from where I'm sitting. And, invariably when we are in a bearish market, I still think there's a momentarily bearish market, but that's when Bitcoin shines. Its dominance would be shooting up because it's the safe haven asset, and that's hardly happening. So Ethereum really is taking some of the sheen away from that. Bitcoin's dominance is still sitting at 43. And if we look at the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio, you can see that it's still holding up here. I said that we would potentially find support in this area, and we did. We came into my resistance line here at 0.736. So I think maybe we go sideways in this area now. But overall, we left this channel, and Ethereum is looking stronger. And so yeah, really feeling much more bullish on Ethereum than I am on Bitcoin personally. So let's look at the total crypto market cap. And I've put something interesting on here. I shared this with a friend and he sent it back to me with the moon cycle on it. And I'll do a video more into this, but it's undeniable when you look at the total market cap of crypto that there is a strong correlation between the full moon and the new moon. So you have these bottoms represented by the full moon and these new moon tops, which is bizarre. And I don't believe that the moon is influencing Bitcoin. I'm not a woo-woo kind of guy, but if enough people do, it moves the market. And there's a lot of skeptical, a lot of superstitious people out there. And we do use the words a lot. We're mooning. Let's ride Lambos on the moon. And I think particularly in places like China, maybe a lot of people are driven by this, and we've just got our big red blood moon, so who knows, maybe that is signifying of this market bottom here, and we will come up towards the new moon on the 10th, on the 9th of June. So we will see. But overall, what I think we will see happen in the market cap, for me, we were in this channel, and this red zone was where I was saying to be fearful when others are greedy, and this green zone was where I was saying to be greedy when others are fearful. And I think what we see now is a new channel form below this one. So I think we get this kind of formation happening here. And so, maybe we dawdle down here for a little bit longer, but I do think we do work our way back up, and this becomes new resistance. So based on that, if we are going to get a all-time high, and if my theory here is correct, then I would say we wouldn't get a new all-time high until the 23rd of July, which I would take. That would be great. So, you know, that's just something to bear in mind. I think this is how things play out for me. Let's just take a quick look at the logarithmic charts. So this gives us that better indication of long time frames. And you can see that, come on chart. Let's just first look at it on the rainbow chart because it's prettier. All right, so you can see that, you know, we've come back down. Now, if we are going to get to that low of 20,000 or so, which, you know, there's always a possibility of it. I don't think it's going to happen, but there is a possibility. Then, you know, that would take us down to here or so before we do recover. But I don't see that happening. I think what we're witnessing is something basically halfway between what we saw with these dips in 2017 and this giant mid-cycle dip which we saw in 2013. This was an 80% move. Let's look at that quickly on our log chart here. If the charts decide to let me. So you can see that we had that massive run up in 2013, followed by a 80% drop. Let's just try and make this a bit clearer and bigger for you. Sorry, my computer's been really non-responsive today. I always film these in one take. It's quite frustrating. So we basically came up, we dropped 80%, we had that dead cat bounce, and then, you know, the market just kind of bled out, and then, of course, jumped up significantly from there. And I think we're not going to see anything quite as dramatic as this, but I think steel yourself for this kind of slow sideways grind, maybe capitulation before the market comes back up. You know, an inter-cycle lull feels the most likely scenario for me. There are too many interested parties wanting to build a position in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. For me, it doesn't feel like this is the top of this cycle. So, you know, I think momentarily we may lose some momentum, but longer term, I am not concerned. And I think that we will see, after a bit of consolidation, a move upwards. As I did say before, I wasn't expecting some kind of V-shaped recovery, but I am expecting we do grind our way up. All right, I hope you found that useful. I hope that gives you some hopium, and happy investing, everyone, and I will speak to you soon. All the best. Oh, and I'm just a guy on the internet. This is not financial advice, and please don't act accordingly. Do your own research, and I will speak to you soon. All the best.